Oh, going live. Okay, so I'm going live. Here we go. I'm trying to get YouTube going, so sorry. Give me 2 minutes, okay? I can't let anybody in because I got Dr. Nancy Sutton Pierce coming in, but thanks. Let's see. Give me a sec. Hang in there. Talk amongst yourself. If you want, think of questions. Oh, here we go. Dr. Nan is asking to join. This is a terrible picture. Retake that. Ah, there you are, my girl.
Hi, I'm out here in windy Southern California. My gardener behind me.
Wow. Wow.
But I wanted to like. Is the wind making a lot of noise?
It is a little bit, but I don't think it's horrible.
Okay. Well, I'll stay out here for a few minutes.
If you could go, yeah, if you want to enjoy that outside.
Yeah, I wanted to be in my backyard. So this is my view behind me.
It's a cool view. Wow, that's gorgeous.
The sun sets right down in that little space down there. So this is one of my favorite new places on earth. So hi,
lovely.
How are you?
Do you have a glass of wine? That's all that matters.
I went white today.
You went white. I'm sticking with the red. Thanks for the thumbs up. If you're new. So I pinned our Venmo, Karen-Poter. If you guys want to Venmo us, we figured that last time we had 450 people on. If we can get everyone to donate $1, you can imagine we'll have 450 bucks to split amongst the two of us, so we can provide more entertainment.
Yeah, and I think we want to, we'd love to be able to provide some topic-oriented kind of symposiums, where people can, like on Venmo, where people could actually, we could see them, they could ask questions, they could speak to us directly.
Sure. You're freezing up. I wonder if you should go inside.
Okay, I can do that. All right, I'll give you a little tour.
Everyone gets to see. Look at this. It's magnificent. The people on YouTube, hi Brendan and Ron, we're on Instagram as well. And like I said, if you want to Venmo, I can also pin it here. Venmo, and I will split this with Nancy. I promise. Venmo.
Okay. How's that?
Karen-Poter. I think that's it. So then they can stay there. Oh, it doesn't stay. Anyway, I guess you could also insert an ad. Okay. Anyway,
are we wearing matching dresses today?
Oh my God, look at this. Maybe if you want to see more dresses like this, you'll Venmo us. If you Venmo, let us know. Congratulations. Dr. Nan has a grandson.
Yes. It's pretty cool, pretty surreal.
Right. And if you guys have, I thought today would be a great day. If you have any questions about relationships in general, parent, son, mother, daughter, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever you want to talk about, we're up for it. Lovers, polyamory, multi-amory, anything you want to talk about, let us know. We could start by saying, where are you guys all from? And I say guys, meaning girls and guys or whatever.
Y'all.
Where are you all from? If you can't tell, I'm from Chicago and now moved to Los Angeles. And Dr. Nan, where are you from?
I was originally born in San Francisco. So
wow.
Yeah, I'm a true California girl.
She's a California girl.
Yeah.
And Music Man is from LA. Cool. And where's everybody else from? Roseville. Well, I don't know where Roseville is.
That's near. That's in California, near Sacramento.
Oh, a lot of Cali people here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What is this random string hanging down here? You might be getting more of a show than you thought. Because if I start pulling strings, who knows what's going to happen? Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Yeah, if there's any questions that you guys have, I got a question today, which I thought I'd answer here, from someone. Let's see where that is. Here it is. Named Louise. Louise says, I just wanted to say how gorgeous you are. That's very sweet, but I bet you hear that all the time. Even then, I'll say it again. I want to know the secret to be able to sleep with cougars such as yourself. I would kindly appreciate if you could simply just give me some type of tip so that I could start meeting with some older women as of now. Thank you. You feel welcome to add any photos of yourself and consider it.
I think they should read your book.
That's exactly what I said. Hey, you know what? Go read my book.
I think this is the question you get absolutely the most, is how to get one of you.
And you too. You want to get one of Dr. Nan, Dr. K. Even though I'm not a doctor, I play one on TV. This is called Fuck Games, Date Cougars. It's F*CK Games, Date Cougars. And I talk about all the tips in here that you'd ever want to know about meeting, dating, and eventually marrying. Who knows? Whatever.
Yeah.
Cougars. We know.
Well, and I think you do give a lot of tips and examples and ways for people to interact with groups of people that perhaps they're interested in getting to know.
Right. And a lot of the tips are very much the same as tips that I talk about meeting anyone. For even just talking to people on the street will help you eventually meet people and be a more confident person, because the bottom line, and I'm sure you might agree with me on this, is that what attracts people the most is to be around confident people. People that not bragging people, but people that are confident in their own skin.
Yeah. And what is that? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Because I hear we talk about that a lot, be confident. But what is confidence?
Well, I think the main thing about confidence is trusting what's inside of you and going with it.
Yeah.
That to me says, you know what, I've got enough faith in myself. I feel enough. I feel like I'm intelligent. I can make good decisions, and I feel like I'm not letting the world influence me. That to me are all little parts of confidence. Someone says, don't be shy and believe in yourself. Yeah.
Right.
What do you think? What are some of the elements that I know you're a very confident person. So what made you that way?
I am confident. And I was just, as you were talking, I was thinking about how did I get confident? And I think it's from taking risks and falling on my face and picking myself back up and continuing to go on.
Because you can really learn from those falls.
Right. I think you can make big mistakes in life, and you don't have to have it destroy you. And that builds confidence in who you are, why you're here, what you're doing, so that the little stuff is that you're not so influenced. And I've never really been big on worrying about what people thought of me or thought of what I was doing.
Well, that's kind of surprising, because our generation kind of was taught to. I was always taught, like, what will people think if you do this or that or whatever, Well,
I think women are taught very much to think that. And I'm sure men would say the same, that, we
I don't know. Do you guys think the same? Are you taught certain things that you should care about what people think more than care about what you really believe in.
Right.
It took me a while. It took me a long time to get away from worrying so much about what is this? If I wear this, outfit, is it to this or that or whatever? Things, even simple things like that, or like if I want to, go on the internet and talk about sex, is someone going to get offended? Am I going to get in trouble?
Well, and I have a YouTube channel called Nearly Naked Yoga. And so I was creating videos of me practicing yoga in not a lot of clothing.
And were you nearly naked?
I was nearly naked, but I had bikinis on. I never was naked. But
and FYI, you guys, she looks damn good in a bikini.
Thank you. But
hence the Venmo. If you want to see more bikini shots, you might get a little something if you Venmo Karen Poter.
I think what I would say is for people that are really interested in promoting our work, I'll send them a free one of my free downloads for my yoga videos, and they can do yoga with me forever.
And and I will send something too. So we'll both send something.
Yeah,
a little something if you donate to Venmo, because we were thinking of putting this on Zoom, but it seemed complicated, and we really didn't want to lose a lot of people. Right. So, yeah. Kevin asks, why do some older women feel uncomfortable about dating a man in his 20s or 30s? It's just something they're taught. That's a perfect example. Thank you, Kevin. Women are taught, I can't date someone younger. And I mean, what would everybody think of me? I'll be laughed at, or I'll be made fun of or something. I think that's a perfect example of confident women don't give a shit.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't mean that they immediately want to introduce you to their kids. It just means that they're not afraid to try being with someone who's a different age, a different race, a different color, a creed, sex, whatever it is.
I think the more confident we are and the more curious we are about life, the less interested we are in limiting who we get to know. I mean, it's why limit it if people are interesting and kind and fun and have energy? Why put an age limit on it, right?
I think we're all connected. I think we're all connected. If you even just hearing our
Roy asked if yoga works. I'm not sure what I would like to know what you mean by works. Like what works and for what? I mean,
yoga works. I'll answer that.
It works for everything. I mean, it's for me, it's a one-stop shop. It's a body, mind, spirit.
It's a moving meditation.
Yeah, it's got something for every aspect.
Even if you do it for a limited amount of time, and I like the fact that especially right now during this time, I'm sitting a lot because I'm working and I'm sitting in the apartment, and I'm like, why don't I do a half hour of yoga and I'll stretch everything out and I'll feel psychologically better, but physically better. And I really believe in it. I'm not as good as Dr. Nan over here, who's the professor.
Well, I've never really felt like there was a level, a good. I don't believe in that at all, because I've seen some of my teachers that I've had in my life who practiced yoga for 40 or 50 years. There were many things they couldn't do physically because their bodies just weren't designed to do that.
Yeah, like me getting in a headstand position.
Right, but yoga works beautifully for them. They're some of my teachers were in their 80s, not on any medication, had in their body.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So there's no age limit on yoga or looking sexy.
Right.
So Bryson agrees with this. And people on YouTube, if you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate all the compliments. Let's see. And good evening to everyone from wherever you are. I hope I don't want to bypass what I said before, which was we're all connected to each other. Even just the fact that you're on this Instagram feed once, just even if you're watching and not participating, we're all connected. We're all growing and learning from each other, because that's why I don't care that much about what people think, because I know we're all part of each other.
Right.
I know it sounds kind of woo-woo or whatever, but I believe it.
Well, none of us have all the answers, that's for sure. So
except me.
No, except you. Okay. Well, at least I know where to go. I always say the more answers I think I have, the more questions I get. So
Whoa, there's another Dr. Nan quote. It's true, though. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you think you've got it, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, that part didn't fit.
And I love that. I think that keeps you curious. You know, it's like, well, tell me more about that. I'd like to learn more about that. I mean, right now I'm learning a whole hell of a lot about politics that I never knew I wanted to know.
And you probably don't want to know.
Well, I actually do, because I feel like, God, you know, I've really been asleep at the wheel with politics and voting.
You think that people are just going to be naturally good-spirited people that are going to want the best for this country, but that isn't always the case, unfortunately. Especially, and I know some of these people that are on the stream are not necessarily from the United States, but yeah, it's kind of scary. It's actually very scary.
What I'm trying to be open to learning is that I think everybody believes that they have the best interest of the country, but they're only speaking for people that agree with them. And they don't realize, you know, I've been forcing myself, this is my task lately, I've been forcing myself to read posts from all of the Republican sites.
Okay, so are you watching Fox News?
I do can't do too much because it's just all BS. I'm more interested in what are the people think and what they say. And what's fascinating is that you can read the posts and the comments on a Republican thread and a Democratic thread. Now I'll just segue here. I am neither. So I don't affiliate with either party. So, but you can read the posts on both of those sites and they're identical. Just
Isn't that funny?
Just opposite. So
it is like nuts.
They just have a very different priority list, I think is what it is.
Yeah, I think you're right. We had a couple other completely different questions.
Okay.
Okay. One, Miguel says, "I love your flaring nostrils." What does that mean? I never knew I had flare. I don't know who has flare nostrils.
Do you or do I?
Well, this is on YouTube, so I was assuming
okay.
Milfman thinks you have a very sexy voice because he's not able to see you. Bryson says, "Good evening. I do care very much about what people think. I care if people like me, even though I know it's not everyone's cup of tea." I mean, yeah, I'll be honest. I don't like it. It's not a comfortable feeling if I think that someone doesn't like me. It's not comfortable. But then I think to myself, who are they? How could they possibly not like me? I'm a likable person. So I don't know why you would dislike me unless I did something deliberately harmful to you, in which case you have every right not to like me. But for the most part,
I don't like everybody.
Right. It's okay to not like someone. Yeah. But usually they like me.
I think a lot of times people like us because they think they can get something from us. And so when they find out they can't, then because most of the time, I mean, think about how often do people really know you to know whether they like you or not?
Well, I think that, like, for example, the people on YouTube who've known me for a long time and follow me for a long time, and same with Instagram, I'm sure, for you and Facebook and all these other social media platforms, you're only getting a certain part of us. You're not getting the whole picture. You're not getting when I have like a breakdown and start yelling at my boyfriend or whatever. So you don't see the whole thing. But on the exterior, you know, again, I go back to like everybody's kind of connected. I do feel like most people like people that are positive, upbeat, friendly, kind people. And I think it's evident that we try to be that way for people. I mean, I know I do, and I know you do.
Yeah.
And Bryson, for you to think that, first of all, Bryson happens to be one of the longtime supporters of the Karenlee Poter show on YouTube. And I know he's a very, very sweet man. So I think you just have to believe in yourself, and that's really important. Do you want to answer? I'm giving the sexologist the question of how do I introduce my girlfriend into swapping?
Well, I mean, I think that you have to start with a conversation about it in a general sense. You don't just say, hey, can we swap on Saturday? If she's never even thought about it, if you've never had a conversation, that might not go well for you. Because generally there's going to be, if she's not adapted to that kind of lifestyle and that kind of relationship design, she's going to instantly be threatened by it, right? So I would just maybe and ask her, has she ever had experience with that before? Would that be something she would be interested in looking into?
Can I interject some other ideas?
Yeah.
There's so many good shows on Netflix right now that one of them might have something to do with swapping. And if you're watching that with your partner, it's a good time then, in a non-threatening way, just ask their opinion about what do you think about that? And you can get a response and just get an idea if this person is, not that you're wanting to do it, but just what their thoughts are on it. Because if it's I would never do something, that kind of like gives you an idea of where their baseline is.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I think watching, you know, if you and your girlfriend watch porn together, maybe pull up something, you know, say, let's try something different tonight. Let's watch threesome porn or something of that nature.
Yeah.
But the swinging shows that are on television.
No, I'm not necessarily saying a swinging show. I'm saying like a show, like there's a lot of shows that have all kinds of sex scenes in it, swinging, that, you know, or reading even a book. You can even find a passage in a book and like, oh, I'm reading this passage. What do you think about this?
Right.
I just think you need to get an idea of where their baseline comfort level is with it. Because if it's completely no, it's going to be a much bigger mountain to climb than if they're like, well, that seems kind of sexy, you know? That seems kind of fun.
Changing up a design of a relationship requires a lot of open conversations and negotiation and understanding what your motives are. You know, are you doing it because you and your girlfriend are bored? Are you doing it because you just want a little more spice? Are you doing it because you want an excuse to have sex with other people? I mean,
a lot of reasons out there.
Yeah, you kind of need to.
So first, you need to look at yourself. Look at yourself and figure out, like,
right,
why am I wanting this? And by the way, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I'm saying once you do it and you open that Pandora's box, it is something that is going to be hard to close up if you want to ever close it.
Yeah, I don't know, because I've seen people open and close the door, but they're usually in established relationships. I also worry a little bit about new relationships or a relationship that's still referring to each other as boyfriend and girlfriend, how well that's going to work. I think what you have to be clear about is if you're in a fairly new relationship and you're still wanting to be sexual with a lot of other people, that you just aren't monogamous, and that you need to be clear about. You just need to say,
or it depends on your
not my nature.
I had an experience with this guy who, as we were just like friends with benefits for a while, and then he went off and found someone that he wanted to marry. But he kept coming back saying, God, I'm so, like, I'm really having a difficulty with not being with you or being with other women. But eventually he worked through all that and got married and was monogamous, or maybe at one point was, I don't know, I've lost touch. But I mean, I don't think it's always that once if you really have a yearning for trying and experimenting with it, that you're always going to be like that. I think it's so fluid. I just think there's times in your life you might be monogamous, sometimes you're not monogamous. It really depends on where you are and who you're with.
I think a lot of it depends on the age. A lot of women that are in their childbearing years, they don't want to be non-monogamous. They're looking for somebody that they can count on and that is there with them to help raise kids. So
when you're a young mother, and you got 3 kids on you, and your husband or partner is working, and he comes home and he's wanting to have sex every night, you're gonna, like, at some point or another be like, I'm exhausted. I don't want everybody pawing at me all day, and my husband pawing at me too. And they get along, bring up, why don't we do a threesome? I mean, it's all about passages, life passages in the time in your life. It may not be the best time.
Right.
What is this saying here? Everyone just needs to grow a set, because at a lot of times both partners have the same thoughts sexually, but both are scared to bring it up. Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's why I've created my program called the Intimacy Oasis.
Did you hear that, you two people? The Intimacy Oasis.
Yep. So if they go to my website, drnsp.com.
Can you hear this? Wait, say it again. I'm going to put it in my comments here.
drnsp.com. PRNSP.com.
PRNSP.com. Go there and you'll find Dr. Nan.
Yeah, and so I counsel couples on creating. It's a communication practice, so that they can bring those kind of topics from everything from money, kids, sex, stress, whatever.
Everything you want to know about sex, but we're afraid to ask.
Everything you want to know about relationships, that you can come into this oasis that you create, that you can feel safe to speak your truth, and that's tricky.
I like it.
Yeah.
Kevin says, I think a lot of guys have a stereotype of cougars as sex crazed from the porn or from media or porn. Do you think a younger man needs to put way more effort to show that he's not just interested in sex? No, I think you just have to be yourself and be honest.
Yeah.
I think you can't worry again about what the media portrays you as. I mean, what media usually portrays, I had friends that when they're going through divorce, they're like, oh, younger guys would never want me because I'm old. I'm like, you're fucking wrong. And vice versa. Yeah. You all think that an older woman's not going to be interested in a younger guy, but you're absolutely wrong. It's like it's very liberating to be with a younger man because then they're not going to want the same things maybe that the older men do.
Right.
So it just really depends on the individual.
So
I masturbate all the time. It's okay for me to do. Is it okay to masturbate all the time? It depends on how old you are, Miguel. Some young guys, they are just masturbating all the time, right? Just sometimes if you're a late teenager, your hormones are raging, you're masturbating all the time.
Well, the question I always ask is, what is all the time?
Yeah, I mean, if it's interfering with your life, maybe you want to cut that down a little bit.
Yeah, if your penis is bleeding.
Or if it's calloused.
If your hands are raw.
I
think it's not unusual for a young man in his teens, early 20s to masturbate several times a day. So that's not, but I think what you want to do is to learn how to do so in a way that builds your stamina so that when you're with a partner, you haven't trained yourself to be a premature ejaculator. Yeah,
that is a little side effect to porn as well. Sometimes you can get, not all the time, obviously. I'm not against porn, but I mean, unfortunately, sometimes if you're watching a lot of porn and you're trying to come really fast, when you get with a live person, male or female, you may end up coming a little too fast because you got in the habit of coming really fast.
Mm-hmm. You haven't learned how to kind of hone your sex energy. And that's really critical for both men and women, to learn how to tailor their sex energy so that they can get the most pleasure for the greatest amount of time by themselves or with a partner. So if you're masturbating several times a day, you might actually find more gratification if you masturbated for 30 or 40 minutes once or twice a day with really deep concentration on your physical experience and your mental and emotional experience, and allow yourself.
Are you talking about edging? Yeah, edging. All right, so for you guys don't know what edging is, it's like you're whacking off and whacking off and whacking off, and right when you're about to come, you stop or get yourself distracted or something so that you don't come, and then try it all over again.
And then when you do,
it's called the masturbation challenge.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to find out more about the masturbation challenge, go to sextalkwithmymom.com, and you will see my son actually took the masturbation challenge after having that discussion with Dr. Nan about what to do about coming too quickly. Now, I'm not sure it worked or it didn't work, but he did the challenge.
His blog on that was so funny. Oh my God.
It's very funny. And again, I'm going to put down the name of the podcast here on YouTube. It's called Sex Talk with My Mom.
So this person keeps asking if they can share something, but you just write it in. You can't talk to us. So just, what is it that you want to share? Just give us a summary, because there's not a lot of time to read full stories here.
Or you can go to patreon.com/Karenlee and I can answer you personally. Or you can message Dr. Nan on her, what's it? It's called drmsp.com.
And NSP, as in Nancy Sutton Pierce.
I can't read. drnsp.com, and she will be able to counsel you individually there. Or you could just share it here, and we will not make fun of you, promise.
No.
We will treat you with sincerity. I masturbate once or twice a day, and I'm 49 years old, Karen. David, whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. I mean, our sexuality is from birth to death. So there's no, you know, and especially for people right now who are isolated and aren't able to be with a partner, self-pleasuring and self-love is so important to learn how to even give yourself a massage, touch yourself, play with yourself, give yourself pleasure. Hugely important for our mental and emotional health.
Yep. And don't get down on yourself because of it. It's very common right now that people are alone, and it's better to be alone and safe than to be out looking for a partner and risk your health by getting into bed with someone who maybe has, you know, the coronavirus. So just be very careful what you're doing.
Absolutely.
That's what I tell my kids. Just be careful.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
people used to bring their STI tests. Now people bring their COVID tests.
Yes, exactly. Is there a masturbation spectrum? Hey, Ron.
0 to a lot. Yeah. I mean, of course, there's a sexuality spectrum and it's all okay. I think it's the only time we worry about it, or we call it, we pathologize it or call it an obsession, is when it's interfering with your daily activities, when it's interfering with you going to work or having relationships, making love to your spouse or your partner if you have a spouse or a partner, you know, functioning. So if that's all you can think about and do, then that would be considered an obsessive compulsive disorder manifested through sexuality.
Just like this. If this is taking over your life, you better go get some help.
Right.
If you're snorting a lot of coke, you better go get some help.
Well, and people with OCD, you know, some people wash their hands 500 times a day, and now they're considered normal.
That's right.
You know, it's like we all have that.
Good point. Very good point.
So
the problem with me is I haven't developed self-love. What can you do to develop self-love? Bryson would like to know.
To develop some love.
No, self-love.
I think get curious about what pleases you. You know, ask yourself those questions. Where do I like to be touched? How do I like to be touched? My friend Lori Handlers, she talked a lot about masturbating with different things on your hands, like gloves, like putting like dishwashing gloves on your hands and touching yourself, putting fur mitts on your hands, putting leather on your hands, so that it feels like something else or someone else is touching you. So it gives you different sensations, and so then you learn about what kind of things you like to be touched with.
What do you think about that, Bryson? Try touching yourself with different gloves, or try lube. Lube will give you a lot of self-pleasure.
And different lubes, because some are more slippery, some are more sticky. I mean, and they're all kind of fun. So play with that. Yeah. If
you use Uber Lube, you enter code MOM, you get 10% off.
There you go.
Mr. Chocolate Covered Sexiness, you two ladies look very gorgeous tonight. But thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
For those of you who don't know, we are trying to figure out a way to monetize this, because we provide a good service by answering these questions. I have a master's degree, she's got a doctoral degree. And so for now, we're asking people to Venmo Karen-Poter, because we will split the profits of this. And it'll be up later on as well. And hopefully we'll get our own show, like on Zoom or something, so it'll be easier to just lock us in. But we didn't want to say no to you guys and say, no, you know, just only Zoom without giving you, you know, a way to monetize this.
Yeah. And I
So
think
just
it shows
Venmo.
interest. You know, it shows genuine interest.
It shows us that we're not just talk is not just cheap.
Right. We're not just pretty faces.
We're not just pretty faces with matching sundresses.
Right.
You can't see her sundress, but it's very close to mine. And I gotta say, it's very comfy.
There you go.
Mosley, I truly and greatly respect both of you. Well, thank you very much, Mosley. Let's see, what's going on here? Brushing your hair for 30 minutes to an hour. Self-love. Yeah. Brush your hair. I don't masturbate all the time. Have once a day or twice a day. I'm 39 years old.
Okay.
You know, whatever works. Sometimes it may be weeks that you go without masturbating, and sometimes you'll do it every day, you know, for whatever. As long as you're not, like we said, really harming anyone or anything, and you're still able to conduct your life in a civilized manner, don't worry.
Right. Right. And
don't worry so much.
If you're not chafed, you're doing
what does
okay.
That say? You can answer that one. Nancy, we're losing. I lost you for a second. My wife loved coming by DVP. What do you think about that? Double vaginal penetration?
Yeah. Great. I mean, there's.
What are we going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, if something's pleasurable to a person and it's not harming anybody else and it's consensual, it's not unhealthy. It's not abnormal. It's not to be shamed or rejected. You know, our bodies are our playgrounds. And if something turns her on and you know, I don't condone having sex with people under the age of 18 if you're over the age of 18. I don't condone
it, and neither does the law.
Right.
So on YouTube, I'm just going to paraphrase what you just said. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody and both the people are consenting adults, it's fine. We don't condone underage sex because you're taking advantage of someone there.
Or non-consensual sex.
Or non-consensual. You know? If someone says no, believe them. Just believe them. Just err on the side of caution and believe them.
And if somebody hasn't said yes, it's a no. I mean,
absolutely. And don't wait to find the drunk girl at the end of the night to take advantage of, because that's not good either.
The absence of a firm no doesn't mean yes.
All right, here's an interesting one from Miguel. Okay. Is it okay to have a nostril fetish and masturbate over girls' nostrils to get myself off? I have to be honest, Miguel, I have never in the many years that I've been just on this show have heard about a nostril fetish, but if that gets you off,
a hole is a hole is a hole.
I mean, I don't know if you're sticking anything in the nostrils. That could be kind of
that could hurt. That could hurt.
But if you just want to masturbate looking at girls' nostrils, hey,
there's no harm in that.
No harm in that. I have heard of wedgie fetishes, foot fetishes. I even had a guy offer to pay me to eat my shit fetishes. And I say, hey, you want to do it? Go for it.
I'm not sure that's really healthy, but I mean,
eating my shit.
Eating fecal matter is not. I wouldn't actually say that that's healthy to do.
And why would you not think that's healthy?
Well, because
have you not heard of protein? Are you insinuating that I don't have a healthy diet?
Well, but everything that was healthy, your body kept, and the rest turned to shit.
Right. Okay. So it literally turned to shit. I mean, what are we gonna say? Freezy loaded said Buck Nasty. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Kevin says, I matched with a 53-year-old on Tinder 3 months ago. She ghosted me after 2 months. She was worried about COVID-19. I'd moved on, but her birthday is coming up. Is it okay to wish her a happy birthday? Yes, wish her a happy birthday. She didn't really ghost you. She just decided that it's
scared. Yeah.
It's a scary time right now to be with people that you don't really know. And you know what? Nothing is worth getting sick or having a life issue about, like I know people who died from COVID, and as I'm sure you do, I know people got very sick and that the sickness lasted for a long, long time. So I wouldn't take it as ghosting. I would just say, right now, I think she's having a tough time with this, but I also think it would be fine to say happy birthday.
Sure.
Why not?
Having somebody acknowledge your birthday is always nice. Always.
Right.
Yeah.
If most people just bring up their sexual desires, they would be much happier in a relationship. And would you agree with most people will not break up for bringing up something freaky? I 100% agree.
Yeah. And the reason is people are afraid of judgment.
Right. And again,
rejection.
that goes back to our initial conversation about confidence and insecurities.
Right. And that's why the Oasis that I created really sets the tone. It has rules and regulations for respect and boundaries. And it really sets the tone for people to be able to absolutely learn to be free to describe and express whatever they desire to their partner, knowing that their partner is going to receive it without any judgment. And so that's what we work on in the program that I create on the Oasis is first you have to identify your own judgments and deal with those. And then you have to realize that you don't have the right to control what somebody else thinks, wants, dreams about, or does. So, but it is a privilege to have a person trust you enough to be honest with you. Then you really get to know each other. That's what intimacy is.
And it's uncomfortable to talk about stuff, but as we always say on Sex Talk with My Mom, sometimes you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Question is, what if I am bi as a male? What if you are?
It's okay.
And mostly, yes, Karen, you can ask a question.
You're okay. Yeah. Sexual orientation is a, that rainbow that you see when this in anything that's LGBTQ is that rainbow means that that's a spectrum of color and that's a spectrum of possibility. There are some people that are at one end of purely homosexual, purely heterosexual, but the majority of people kind of wave back and forth on that continuum. And sometimes people venture out. A lot of times, late teens, early 20s, college age, people experiment with same-sex sexuality. They might like it, they might not. They might go back into it later. I mean, it's always open, right? So we really need to let go of our judgments about what other people choose to do with their body with other consensual adults.
And don't fear if you want to experiment and try different things. Don't be fearful.
Right.
Just do everything with good intention.
This Mosley person keeps wanting to ask you a question. Why don't they just...
Well, Mosley, ask me a damn question already.
Yeah. Do you know this person?
No. But I'd love to know what the question is.
Well, they keep saying, can I say something? Can I ask something? And then they don't do it. Just do it. There's no line.
My YouTube would like to see you, so I'm going to show them you.
Okay.
YouTube. Can you see Dr. Nan, that cute little woman over there? That's her. That is her. I'm going to put you back because I can't read the comments if I have you turned that way.
That's a really big, long, hard mic you got there, girl.
How do you like this? I don't believe in anything not long and hard. No, I'm just kidding.
It doesn't have a curve.
This one does not have a curve. This is my road podcast. This is what I do my podcasting on. And it took me like the beginning of COVID till now to realize, because before we were doing it together in the same room, but we can't now. It took me a while to realize I had this extension, this arm that I can just put the mic on and I don't have to hold it because it's a heavy sucker. Let's see. Okay, there's a lot of questions here. I'm a 22-year-old single male. I'm currently having casual sex with a 38-year-old single mother. Is that okay? Yes. Why would it not be okay, Matthew?
Did she consent to it? Let's talk that.
Right. Is that 38-year-old single mother, did she say yes, she wants to have sex with you? Casually. I mean, put it this way. If you and her have not had a conversation and one of you thinks it's casual and one of you thinks it's not casual, maybe have another conversation about that. But I see that because of the age difference, who gives a shit?
Right.
She is hot. Oh, apparently you're hot.
Thank you.
I wish you both were single. Okay.
That's sweet.
That was MILF Man, 1986. Okay,
I'm so glad I'm not.
Right now it's hard to be single, I have to say.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mosley, oh, here he goes. I'm bedridden 5 years now, and since April of 2017, I've been attracted to my nurse. And when she touches my chest, yeah, I feel amazing. So that's good. Mosley, you need some kind of human contact. Just because you feel amazing and she's touching your chest, don't feel anything but glad that you're having that experience.
But remember, that's a therapeutic interaction. That's not a mutual exchange of pleasure. And you cannot expect her to be pleased by touching you. You have to accept the fact that it's your pleasure that you are just absolutely entitled to.
Right.
But you cannot cross that boundary. Otherwise she won't be able to be your nurse anymore.
Yeah. As long as she's touching your chest, don't go asking her to touch your dick. Okay. Very bad idea. You're going to lose a good nurse.
Yeah.
Matthew says, once, however, I went over to her house and she had a female friend over and didn't want to take it further because I had no condoms on me, as she was indicating she wanted a threesome, both over 35. There's a lot of stuff in that, Matthew. Let's just talk first. Don't do anything without condoms. Okay, let's start with that. You don't need any shit in your life right now. This is not a good time to be experimenting without condoms. Now you're talking about, she indicated she wanted a threesome, and both of the people were over 35, so we don't have to worry about ages. But the main question is, just have a conversation with all three of you guys. If you're up for the threesome, go for it. But I think you need to talk about it. This is something you don't want to beat around the bush. So
you don't surprise people with this kind of thing.
Don't just, I mean, I've heard some crazy, crazy stories about threesomes that, some people love them. Some people, found them to be very difficult. So,
I mean, as with anything, I think it totally depends on the three people. Because you could probably have a really amazing sensual experience with three people and never have sex. You could have a highly sexual experience with three people and have it be a disaster because somebody doesn't fit into the
right.
So,
and even talk about how long do you want this to last? Like if you're living with your girlfriend, or if do you want that person to stay all night? You have to have a discussion about everything. Lots of questions coming in. Would you date someone that's bi male? Would you date someone who's bi male? Both Nancy and I are not dating anybody, but the question is, what would we do if would you date someone who's bi?
I mean, I think that my main concern would be safety, as if or were they monogamous when they were with me, or if we had an agreement of non-monogamy, were they being safe? I mean, that just like with anybody. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're having sex with. If you're having sex with other people, you want to make sure you're being conscious. I
think they're basically asking, would that be something that would be a detraction to you if you found out your partner is bi or not?
I don't think so at all. For me.
And I don't know. And I have to think about that. I think it's a very good question. I don't know. I mean, it's certain parts of my life I would have said, I don't think I'd date someone who's bi. But then on the other hand, maybe I would now because of, how long I've been in the world where sex is all over the place. There's alternative lifestyles to everything.
Yeah. I mean, because I think sex is, it's,
depend on who.
Well, and I think most people are probably bisexual and many just never act on it. And many more men are bisexual than ever will feel comfortable coming out with that because of the stigma that we as a society have attached to it. So I think that's really unfair for us to say, yes, women, yeah, come on, girl action. But men, no. Why would we think that women could be bisexual and that's acceptable, but men can't? I mean, sexual desire is, and some people are, more and more people are pansexual. they're just sexual beings, and they acknowledge that. And
yeah, right. I think that's what this guy is basically asking, right?
yeah,
Oxnard. Okay, so we don't have so much time left. I just want to see if we can get there. I don't want to risk losing my nurse, so just don't. Is it okay to tell her? I would just tread carefully on what you say to the nurse, because it may break a boundary that she's not comfortable with. So I would just kind of keep my thoughts to myself.
Absolutely. I would not tell her. That's going to make her incredibly uncomfortable.
Right.
And she's going to have to terminate the relationship. It's any therapeutic
Dr. Nan's a nurse, so she knows about these things. And if it's uncomfortable,
any therapeutic relationship where you're being paid to take care of somebody, unless it's a sex surrogate. Well, that would be more clear, right? But this is a nurse taking care of it. And so if you cross that boundary, you can't uncross it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's okay to message a girl's sister to ask her sister if that girl wants to go on a date with me, if I have already asked that girl by DM her and she has blocked me? Matthew, anybody that's blocked you, I would say give it up.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you would never ask a girl out on a date in a DM.
Well, he's asking the girl's sister.
Well,
and he's already asked that girl by DM. Yeah, let's just let that one go.
Matthew. He was asking her on a date by DM?
Yep.
Don't do that. That's tacky. If you don't have the balls enough to call somebody on the phone and have
We're talking to two older women now, okay? We don't go with this texting shit.
You don't DM them. Yeah, that's not personal.
It's actually even harder, because DMing on Instagram, for example, is not like texting either. It's like you don't even know. I don't even answer 90% of my DMs because
you're DMing, LBJ 475. I mean, you don't even know their name. So that's not personal. And believe me, as women, we get DM shit like that all the time, and we just block them. So if you're getting blocked, you're going
there's a reason.
Way. Yeah. You need a new tactic.
All right. So Maria's saying, yes, teach these young boys.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, as older women, we did not grow up with texting and all that other stuff. So if you're looking for an older woman, I would try to use the phone. I mean, I did see guys when I was single that were younger that would strictly text me, but it was a friends with benefit relationship that was established.
Right.
So.
Well, ghosting is just going to happen, partially because people either don't think you deserve the time to explain to you why they don't want to see you anymore. But so if somebody that's ghosted you, that wasn't really a very valuable relationship to begin.
Well, it's worse than ghosting. This girl actually blocked him.
Well, blocking is pretty clear.
I just blocked some mean-spirited person today on my TikTok.
Oh, you should see my list of blocked people.
All right, so we got 6 minutes left, and I wanted to say that if you want to see more of both of us, Venmo Karenlee. Oh no, it's Venmo Karen-Poter. I don't even know what Venmo is. Venmo me Karen Karen-Poter. Any amount of money. Show us that you're interested in having some value added to this, question Q&A, because we both have doctorate degree, or I have a master's, she has doctorate. We both have a lot of experience. I've written 2 books. She's had a million different life experiences and courses that she's taken and teaches. So if you like what we're doing, Venmo me, and we will see whether or not we want to continue this.
Well, I think money is votes. And if you
want
us to do more, provide more, be more available, then we need the support, because we're working women and we are self-employed. And so when you're in this world, I mean, my counseling practice is very full. I'm not doing the traveling now, but I hope to be soon. And so if you want us to be able to take this kind of time every week or do personal answering of questions, we really do need the support to do that. Otherwise, it's really not worth our time.
she said it all. I have had women tell me that they have rape fantasies. What are your thoughts on that? Milfman, the number one fantasy of women is supposedly rape. Fantasies are different than realities. And I don't have a problem with anyone having any fantasy. Reality is a different story.
I can tell you a little bit about that real quick. One is many women that have a rape fantasy, they have a fantasy because they've been raped and they want to rewrite it to where they're in control of the situation. And then they can. With the outcome. So
okay, you froze on that.
It can be incredibly healing if it's done in the right way, but that's up to the woman, not the man.
Right, right. Yeah. No, what we're saying though is the fantasy itself, again, I don't care if you're fantasizing about having sex with a donkey. It's your fantasy. Go for it. Rape can be an incredibly exciting
Have any fantasy you want. There's no harm in fantasy. Yeah.
But reality is a different story. So
yeah,
if your women are telling you that they have these rape fantasies, that just might mean that they want some guy to control them in their fantasies. But in reality, they want to have equal footing.
Yeah. Have them describe the fantasy to you. Don't describe it. Don't create it for them.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I don't have her number. That's why I DM'd her. She goes to the same university that I do, and I found out her name. Matthew, if you can get her number, it's called stalking when she's obviously blocked you that says something.
Yeah. Let it go. Let it go.
Mosley, if you would like to speak to me personally, go to my Patreon, patreon.com/Karenlee. I promise you I will message you. Okay? That's Patreon. Because I'll be shut down by Instagram in 2 minutes.
Yep.
You two are very smart. I always keep learning from both of you. Thank you, Brady.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much, you guys. We really enjoy talking to you. We wouldn't do it if we didn't. We like each other, so it makes it easy because we're both Libras.
We are.
We're sisters from different parents.
Sister from different misters.
And missuses. We could have been in a prior life. We could have been sisters in a prior life. I could say that.
I think so. I think we were. Just how we found each other and
weird shit that's happened between us that we've talked about before on this podcast. I shouldn't say podcast. The alcohol is swirling. We have 2 minutes left.
Okay, next Thursday. Let's do next Thursday. Let's see what people think about what we're doing. If they support us.
And if you're watching this later, you could still Venmo Karen-Poter.
Yeah.
And we will see how much support
we'll let you know next week what the support is and whether we're going to keep doing this or not.
And if you want to know what kind of wine we're drinking, I got red, she's got white.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
This is called butter.
I love her.
All right. Love you. All right. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.
I just want to shut it off before Instagram does. You know, I like to get the last word over here. Okay. All right. You guys on YouTube, it's been real. I love you guys too. Bye. Bye, Nan.
Bye, Karen.